Alright everybody, welcome to the wood shop. So today I've got a video on the Makita cordless chainsaw. Alright, so the package that I got came with 2 batteries, the battery charger, the saw, and these batteries. So it's got 4 total batteries, 2 at a time. So this is the Makita XCU04. Alright, so this saw features a 16-inch blade, chain, which is basically about 15 inches or so of useful space with that. Okay, so on this side, on the left side, you've got your oil filler to lubricate the chain. You've got your saw brake, which is very important on this, and I'll talk about that in a second. This one also features the button where you can push to see what the battery life is. Now, the battery also has one as well, so you've got 2 choices there. And these just snap right in, and you have to have both batteries. It will not work on just one from the way I've been using it, so you have to have 2 batteries to do that. This is your on-off switch. Okay, very easy to use. You just put your hand here, just like anything else, and that's your trigger there. This side features your toolless chain tension, and you can loosen this off and move this up, and it will tighten the chain. Okay, and it does also have a metal, whatever you call that thing. Okay, so it's very important that you have this on safety when you're doing it, because when you turn it on, see, it does nothing and the light flashes. Okay, so you've got to take this off. Just be forewarned that this is an electric saw, so you're not pulling and there's no sound. When you pull the trigger, it just starts. So be very aware of that when you pull. So be absolutely ready when you engage the saw for it to go, because that's exactly what's going to happen, and I'll show you. That's it. No noise or anything, so be ready. Okay, so what I've got here is a piece of wood. I'll just show you how it cuts. Okay, so always make sure you go ahead and turn it back off and push it forward. That way it'll lock the chain, and see, it does nothing. Okay. So it's got a pretty smooth cut. This was the original cut. This is it. So it's a pretty nice cut. This is I'm not sure what kind of wood this is, but it's pretty dense, and it does pretty well. So let's go back inside and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Okay, so let me just go over this, the actual chain part a little bit with you, but I also wanted to mention too, Makita has a very nice system where these same batteries can be used in all modern Makita tools. So drills and impacts and hammer drills and pole saws, lawnmowers, blowers, all sorts of things. This is the same system. From my experience too, these batteries will run depending on, moderate use. I typically don't let them go all the way down, but I've used them easily for 30 minutes and still had 2 bars. Of course, that's not constant use, but if you're cutting something up, it works pretty well. Okay, so again, I took the batteries out, so there's no chance this is going to come on, but I just wanted to show you a little more of how this works. Just loosen this up and make sure to keep your hand on it, and this will come off. And you can see I've used this saw. I've used this saw for several months before I did this review, but this is how it comes off, just like this. And this blade, and just like any other chainsaw blade, you can use this bar upside down, and it's actually, you're supposed to flip it because it does get worn, so you can actually flip it back and forth. But that's just that easy how that comes off, and then it goes back on just as easy with that. Alright, so with the saw, I want to tell you a few things. After I've used it a fair amount, just want to give you some thoughts on this is my first cordless, battery powered chainsaw. It is lightweight. It's not a big, heavy, gas powered chainsaw. It is a lightweight saw. So if you're planning on cutting firewood for the winter for your home, it's not going to be a good saw for that, in my opinion, unless you're cutting very small logs. I use it mainly for making bowls, and so I use it to cut down pieces of wood before I can put them on my bandsaw and do them out. It is perfect for cutting up small limbs. So if you have anything this big that's you can easily get to. Say you have a lot of trees in your yard, this thing is perfect for that. It's nice to cut down small things. It works really well. No complaints there, but again, it is a lightweight saw, so if you pinch that saw, it's not going to react the same way that a big heavy duty saw will. The battery life is excellent. I have no trouble with that whatsoever. And thing's got tons of power, and again, you can see it starts right up. It's an electric motor, so it just starts and it just goes. Absolutely no issue with that. And overall, I've been very happy with it. It's a good saw. Okay, so based on this, it weighs about, I'd give it a healthy, maybe 12 pounds. Let me take the batteries out. Tool alone, 10 pounds. Okay, so the batteries add a couple pounds to it, just giving you an idea. Just giving you an idea, it's very lightweight. It's very well balanced with the batteries. The batteries actually help it out a lot. Of course, you have to run it with the batteries, but they did give you a good weight, some good weight with that. So when you're cutting, it wants to tip, which is good. So when it hits the dog, and bites in, it does fit very well. It's not tipped back this way with there. Okay, so I'm going to plug the batteries in. Okay, so you've got your indicators over here of the different statuses and in. This one means that it's getting very close to being full. Batteries are already full, so it won't take but just a few minutes, or maybe less than a minute, for that to evaluate the battery, because it's already full anyway with that. Okay, so let me show you this one. I'll take this one out, and we'll put one of the ones that we used in, and again, so it's ready to go. Okay, so this has got all sorts of evaluation things. It does have a fan that will run while it's charging to keep it cool. When you're not using it, the fan shuts off, or when the batteries are full and you leave it, it will shut off. The fan doesn't stay on all the time, but it's a very nice little setup. Alright, so that's the review of the Makita cordless chainsaw. We're going to try to do some more of these videos of reviewing some items that we have actually used. These are not being sent to us. We're actually using these tools, buying them ourselves and using these tools, and we want to use them for a while, give you an honest review. I would definitely recommend this saw for a homeowner, or someone maybe that owns a small landscaping business that just has to cut up small limbs. Definitely not a firewood production type saw, or cutting down very large trees. Just not made for that. It's too small. But it is an excellent saw. The battery system is excellent, especially if you have other Makita tools, because you can buy the tool only a lot of times, and that'll save you some money if you already have batteries. In this case, I have 4, and it uses 2 at a time. So that's the review of that. So I appreciate everybody stopping by the wood shop. I hope you'll come back very soon for another review. Take it easy.